I will always say that you also want to have collaborators and friends of like minds. Those are very, very important. In as much as I would like to hear good news, I like when I talk to a friend who is really calling me into question. We're saying, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Rather than just, oh, it's fine, it's okay. No, you need those kind of friends that you can call up. Those things are not made overnight. It's an investment.
Welcome to The Climb, where I help Christian men live fully, lead boldly, and leave a legacy that matters. I'm your host, Teko Bailey, husband, father, life coach, and your guide in the climb. Whether you're navigating fatherhood, building a business, or simply longing to live more purpose, this is the space to rise. Joseph, it's so good to have you on The Climb. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Teko. Nice to meet you here. Wonderful space.
Joseph, I know you've been in different spheres of influence. You're an entrepreneur, you're very much in the business space and running a company. Why don't you introduce yourself for the listeners of The Climb?
Hey, I'm Joseph Edogbeni. I'm originally from Nigeria. I moved to Canada in 2015 as an entrepreneur, and I started my business, Heyru, in September of 2016. I have two line of businesses I do. One is service. I run a freight brokerage where I help small businesses like myself to move goods all around, and I trade under the Landstar transport license. It's headquartered in Florida, US, but I work out of Winnipeg as an independent freight agent. So I do a lot of international load and I also do truck across North America all the way to Mexico. However, I do have a love for the other part of my business, which is
Yes.
product. So I do bring natural health food products and skincare products from Africa, and I process them here in Manitoba. I sell them to health stores and to grocery store.
To get to that stage in your business, I'm sure it wasn't a fast and easy journey. Take me back a little bit to the earlier days of maybe some of the setbacks, some of the challenges, and maybe what inspired you to move into that space.
Okay, good. First, I've always been an entrepreneur all my life. So, in the course of the migration process, that was the route I took to migrate to Manitoba. So, when I first visited in 2011, I just came on an exploratory trip to check it out to see what I could possibly do here. It was from there on I knew, oh, I need to be in the wellness space, and there are a lot of natural things that we take for granted from back home that we use as herbs, as food, but there are serious products here in the North America that we
Yeah.
could process and access and sell to the market. So that was where the motivation came from. I would want to say that everybody's circumstance is totally different.
Yes.
So when I migrated here, personally, it wasn't a good moment of life for me because when I started this whole journey, it wasn't meant to be just me. It was started majorly by my late wife. By the time we had the landed papers, she had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So moving here at that moment was very, very troubling for me. I wasn't sure I could succeed on my own. And because the entire development of the business plan, all of that was meant to be executed by two people.
Yes.
So that was a major challenge for me. Also, when I migrated here, we had a lot of forex fluctuation from back home. So tried to move in capital. I lost a lot in that process. So that
Yes.
also slowed down my growth. But I will always say my philosophy is that for every challenge, there's always opportunity.
Come
That I will
on.
say to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So albeit all of that personal circumstance that I was going through to learn how to dance salsa bachata. I didn't read any book that I would need it, but it has helped me a lot for my therapy to recover from all of that loss. And it's something I do
Yes.
normally.
Yes.
Growing up, I grew up dancing, but not in an intentional way. So
Yes.
that really helped my healing process personally. And looking after that really helped me to be able to heal and get to the space of doing my business. So on the business side, okay,
Tell me
go
a
ahead.
little bit about this dancing. Is it figuratively speaking or actually dancing through your circumstance?
Dancing through my circumstance in reality.
Wow.
So
Wow.
when I go, for instance, when I go take lessons and I do social dancing, people really don't understand. I'm so overjoyed. Some people will even think I'm drunk.
Wow.
That's to tell you how much happy I am
Come on. Come
because
on.
to wake up in the morning to see that your partner that you've been together for almost 18 years is gone and
Yes.
starting life afresh by yourself. So
Sorry.
that was a great challenge. So that I would say personally, I would say it was God's leading
Yes.
because it wasn't something I was thinking about. But generally, I'm the kind of person who is always very positive about
Yes.
life, no matter what. So all of that led me to that, and I believe it was God's plan that I find myself in that environment. And it helped me. So many connections I've made there. They are still my friends. Like when I met my wife now,
Yes.
my best man, I met him through salsa, and we're still good
Yes.
friends today. We're a good family. So a lot has really happened in that space.
So
So on
you
the, go ahead.
you've had to navigate what would have, for some people, what could have been the end of, in a sense, life for them. Because a lot of people I find, when they go through those circumstances, they kind of stay there or they get stuck or they feel stuck. But for you, in a sense, you were able to dance through those challenges and, in a sense, over those challenging moments to get to a place that is what I would use a bit more flourishing and in a positive way.
Yeah. So yes, you're right. And I will say to you, also God put people in your life for a
Yes.
reason. And we have this expression back home where we say, people are my clothes.
Yes.
So when you have people, it simply means you can never be naked.
Wow.
So I had friends who called, check on me from time to time. They knew that my late wife would be happy to see me do well,
Yes.
happy to see me dancing, doing all of that. So ultimately, it's all about that goal that, okay, you're chasing that dream. It was a
Yes.
dream that we both wanted, and you're on that path. So the more I take those steps, the more I find gratitude and the
Yes.
more I get healing. So that's something that was really, really helpful for me. And on the business side, the Forex fluctuation also
Yes.
provided opportunity because if I happen to share my original business plan, freight forwarding was never part of it. My
Wow.
business was just totally around the products. That is it.
So what could have been a tragedy actually opened up new possibilities for you?
Exactly. So now what happened is that when I first got here, I'd bought a condo, then I went back to go exit properly and come back. So in the process of all of that, the forex, all of that net worth had reduced by half. So
Yes.
it made the entire settle down become very difficult. So the question is, how do I get forex to pay my mortgage bill? How do I get
Yes.
forex to live life? Then the money that I had planned to inject and start my business
Yes.
is not depleted, but I need to start anyways.
That's right.
So, and don't forget, I had a little deposit with the province as part of the requirement for the migration. Before
Yes.
you can get to it, your business need to have spent more than double the amount you have with them. So it was it was in that dilemma, all of that. God always open opportunity. So back home, I've done a lot of like supply chain businesses importing from North America, mostly Europe, and not so much of China, because
Yes.
China wasn't that popular then. And so, but I had certifications in agile trading, in supply chain, in freight, and all of that. So when I got here, I realized that, okay, the best way to go is to now do what we call door-to-door air cargo
Yes.
for our Nigerian community. People want to
Yes.
send things back home. So
Yes.
guess what? I started that before my product even get to market.
Interesting. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So what happened is that by October of that 2016, I incorporated 2016. So the more I do the research, the more I'm seeing that it will be a tough journey to get my product to the market.
Yes.
Then I realized that, okay, I might as well start the door to door. And within 3 months, by December, I did my first shipping and
Yes.
everything went successfully. And I still do that to date. I help Nigerian business communities. That really helped me open up doors to now starting dealing with kind of businesses, especially small
Yes.
businesses who are looking to access import across border from the US. Maybe they're buying ingredients from the US or equipment from the US or even
Yes.
from Mexico or then China, a whole lot of things. And right now, look at businesses who also look into export into new markets. So I
Yes.
provide those trade advisory using Star Global Network to get insight, to get like country reports and things like that. So that's the space I'm operate right now.
What I hearing from you is that you're a possibility thinker, you're a visionary, and you're somebody who makes things happen. At what point in your life, in your growing up, did this become the man that you are today? Take us back a little bit to some of those early years when maybe your first idea came about,
Yeah.
or what age did this possibility thinking started?
Okay. I will tell you, it all started from back home, my parents, especially my dad. So because my dad, we've never been like wealthy, we're just like average family,
Yes.
like what I call middle class. But
Yes.
as you get older, the economy tend to depreciate, then your parents are not moving upward and the
Yes.
demand is getting more. So before you know it, you move from middle class, you become like in the low class, or you
Yeah.
become classless. So now, so all of that teaches you a lot. I will tell you, I was a great hawker, like as in I hawk plantain and sell plantain,
Wow.
like after school hours. So my
Yes.
mom would make what we call chin chin back in the days. So
Yes.
we'll have season where people will boil eggs. I will go to the park and go sell it. So,
Yes.
and usually it's not just me, it's me and my siblings, but
Yes.
I never come back empty.
That's right.
Most of the time I sell out.
Come on.
Yes. So I knew this is just my space. And while
What
back
age?
in
What
college,
age are we looking at? Is this a 10, a 8, a
elementary,
15? Yes.
I would say mostly my elementary.
Yes.
By high school, things have changed a little bit because by high school back home, it's more kind of too hot to do that. So
Yes.
I would say it's mostly my elementary, my 9, 10, then 11. Those 3 years was really, really, really strong. But much later, after like high school, I did some hawking because I went to live with my aunt in Lagos for a bit because I
Yes.
needed some money to
And for our
progress.
listeners, beef means that you are finding a way to make some money because they might not know the meaning of beef.
Yeah. So so that's what that is. And then
Yes.
all of that, I think, is a journey of life. And then before
Yes.
you know it, your character, your person is being
Yes.
formed.
That's
So
right.
whether you're paying attention or not,
Yes.
but then on the inside, you're like, okay, I thank God for this path because the
Yes.
path has taught me a lot, to which whenever I wake up in the morning, I'm very grateful.
I like that. It takes tenacity, it takes endurance, it takes perseverance to be like, whether you're going to accept your situation as is, or you're going to grow through your situation and make something out of it. Because I believe this is how God intended life. He plants a seed, and as you water it, it becomes a tree. The tree can become an orchard. The orchard, it grows if you keep thinking what's next and how it can grow. And I love your early years of entrepreneurial thinking, because my dad also inspired that in me and my siblings as we were growing up. And I think I'm seeing it in my little boys as well. Right now, I pay them $1 or $2 to do certain duties so they can see there are ways that you can make your money. Or even one of my son, he does art, and another one, he's making his own little robotics, and they're below the age of 10. But I want to inspire them that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. So I love that. Take me further
Okay.
as you move from that stage to the next.
Yeah, and my real entrepreneurial skills really like blossomed while in the university. So that was
Yes.
when I really started my first business. It was
Yes.
I think my third year or so. So I started a photography and a graphic studio.
Yes.
So that's kind of something that really like launched me very well. So it was just 2 years in Ibadan, which is where I was born and raised. So by the
Yes.
third year, I'd moved the studio to Lagos because after the university, you have to go study, do like a youth service corps to the nation for like a year.
Yes.
So I moved to Lagos and now I moved my studio to Lagos. From there on, it's just business and business. Because Lagos is generally like a hustling and bustling, and
Yes.
there's a lot of trading going on there. In
Yes.
Lagos, you don't even wake up to think about money. Money just chases you because the market is so much. Yeah, yeah, the market is massive. So we're talking of like a city that's about 20 million, but the
Wow.
entire country is like over, I'm sure Nigeria, I'm not sure what it is now, but I know we're over 120 million. Then the whole of West Africa
Yes.
to the west depend on Lagos economy.
Wow. So
So you can imagine.
it's like the song they say, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it in Lagos, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah, Lagos is kind of key because Lagos is just generally like people literally can cook soup in a
Yes.
traffic before they get home because they'll
Wow.
buy all the ingredients in a traffic on their
Yes.
way home.
Yeah.
By the time they get home, they literally just put it together.
Wow.
So it's a society whereby you learn firsthand what life is,
Yes.
and things are
Yes.
not always smooth, whether you're rich, you're
Hmm.
poor. And I would say to you generally, I don't really think anyone is poor in Lagos. We just
Yes.
have different lifestyle
That's
and
right.
different kind of what I put it, social strata. That's it.
Yes.
Because
Exactly.
somebody who works for you right now, from that little salary, let's say
Yes.
for instance, they invite you over for what we call like a child ceremony.
Yes.
You'll be shocked at the party you're gonna see when you go there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, you're like, I can't even put that party together
Yes.
because it's more about communal living, it's more about a way of life. It's not
Exactly.
necessarily about where you are in terms of money wise. It's just what you
Yes.
want and you build your community around it. So that's,
Relationships are important.
yes, very important.
I like that. So you've experienced some ups and downs in your life. You've experienced some major, what I would say, tragedy, and also, but you had this footing of I can do it if I put my mind to it. I find a lot of men today are overwhelmed, anxious, feeling very limited on what's possible. And especially if we are going through seasons of wilderness or where we feel stuck, how do we get through those seasons? You could have said, this is it, I can't move any further when you lost your partner, your wife, and just give up on life, help one to get through these tough seasons when he feels like he can't make it and he's not seeing beyond that season. How do we help each other in these times? What helped you to make it through? I know you talked about friends calling and stuff like that, but how do we help other men who are going through similar or different experiences move to the next level?
Hey, ah, this one is very important.
Yes,
There are many ways to look at it. I will say to you that one thing is certain about life, change,
yes,
different weird thoughts about your circumstance, they will always
yes,
come.
yes.
But the question is the actions you take when those things come to eat you. I always have a reference point, and my reference point is gratitude of yesterday.
Mm,
The question is, where was I when this happened, or similar thing happened, or something
mm-hmm.
very devastating in the past happened? How did it happen? I don't need to dwell on it. It's just that thought. And you know what happens to me? I just smile right away.
Yeah,
Once I connect that reflection, I'm like, oh God, thank you. That's what I would say. Because even as I'm talking to you, people see that, oh, here is Blossom is so, not so much. I'm paying my staff, but guess what? I can't pay myself. Is that
yeah,
where I want to be? No,
yes, yes,
that's not where I want to be. I want to pay myself, also
yes,
pay myself dividend. That is when and we're on that path. But all I will say to you is always up and down.
mm,
When we're in the valley, let us always reflect on when we were on the hills. Because
uh-huh.
it's that memory.
Yes,
Once we have that space for that in our brain, we need to create that memory, that reference memory to
yes,
always refer to when we're in the valley. That's the only way. And that's what I've been doing. And I also love listening to music that
yes,
inspires me a lot.
yes. So the hilltop moments are very good to remember that it will
Yes,
sustain you as you're in the valley.
yes. And it's part of growth. That's what I've come to realize.
Yes,
Because you tend to learn more when you're in the valley.
yes,
You just need to pay attention to those things that you need to learn. So that because if you dwell on what is going on, we become overwhelmed to a point we can't even see what we're meant to learn in
yes,
that moment. So that is why we need to know that okay, God, I think you want to teach me something. There's something I need to know here. I need to stay calm rather than dwell and beat myself up. Why
yes,
did I find myself here? I could have done this. I could have done that. Who told you if you had done that, it would be worse? You don't know.
yes, yes.
You had better be grateful for where you are. That's what it is.
Are there other maybe tools or practical things that you would maybe recommend that you think might be helpful?
Yes, I will always say that you also want to have collaborators and friends of like minds. Those are very, very important. In as much as I would like to hear good news, I like when I talk to a friend who is really calling me into question. We're saying, have you thought about this? Have you thought
Yes,
about that? Rather than just, oh, it's fine, it's okay. No, you need those kind of friends that you can call up. When you're not there, they're actually thinking about you. So,
yes,
and those things are not made overnight. It's an investment. So we have to learn to also learn to give our time to
yes.
people that will of the same value, we share the same sentiment, things like that. So not that you need them, that's why you want to, but the reality of life is that you will certainly need them at some point. It's as
That's
simple
right.
as that.
That's right.
So why wait till when you need them? You might as well invest in them.
Invest. I think sometimes we underestimate the significance of friendship, especially in such a technologically advanced age when people can do a lot by themselves. But I find we can only go so far by ourselves because life was never meant to be that way. And I think friendship, how do I say this? I think for men, it can be difficult at times to see uh, or to make the time to invest in it if we've not seen it modeled very well for us. You know, especially when we go through tough situations, we tend to want to stick to ourselves, handle it by ourselves. But you do need those friends to check in on you, to call you out, and to say, hey, what's going on? You know, how can I help you? You know, that sort of thing. And I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, I also will say to you that most of my friends I'm talking about, they don't even live here.
Yes,
I didn't make them here. I made them from
yes.
back home. So some are in Canada, so we talk. At times we get to meet, at times we connect at events, things like that. So there are many ways to read it. All I'm just saying is that I know we're different. Some will say, "Oh, I'm an introvert." It's okay
Mm-hmm.
to be
Mm-hmm.
an introvert, but that's not to
Yes,
say you can't make friendship. That's not to
that's
say
right.
you can't invest in people. But I also know that the time and people's circumstance is different. If you're single, you do not have family yet or kids yet, it may be a little bit difficult to start doing that at that moment
Yes.
because these are things I've been doing like all my life.
But
So
you
it could be
can
a lot
serve.
easier.
You
Yes,
can serve others too. It's
yes.
reciprocal.
It,
You serve, you invest, and in due time you get it coming back to you. I think life is built that way.
the thing is that I will tell you something. What I've also learned with friendship is that the person you're investing into might not even be the one paying you back when you need it.
Yes, absolutely.
So it might even be, whoa, because I will tell you, after I lost my late wife back home, I just make some small friends that I never considered friends.
Yes,
But
yes.
the tragedy endeared me to them, and we started a whole new level of friendship that has
Wow.
really taken us to different level right now. Like we live in the same community, we went to the same school, but we were never friends in school. Things like
Yes,
that. For all I just know that when things happen, if we can be attentive, God is always there, no matter what. And I'm still learning every time. Whenever I'm in different situations, I'm like, God, oh God, how am I gonna go through it? Guess what? God is always finding ways. Rather, He's not even finding it. He has the ways. It's
that's
just He
right.
need you to see the path
That's
to His
right.
ways. That's it.
That's right. You talked about investing. I know you also do mentoring in different spaces.
Yeah.
What have you found to be just the benefit of mentoring and making time to do those types of work? It's not necessarily something that we're making money from or anything like that, but what are some of the benefits of giving back and serving and investing? Because sometimes we focus more on the receiving side and we forget we also need to give.
Hey, good. Well, I've always been, I've always been a big believer of serving people. All through my life, I've always been involved in a school activity group or running activities and supporting all of that. So getting to Canada to see that is very structured was no brainer for me. And
Yes.
I would tell you something. Some people will tell you, "Oh, I don't have time. Where do I have the time to do this? Where do I have the time to do that?" But guess what? Part of what they have time for is to pay money to go through a course, to a class, to do and spend time away. Guess what? You learn more when you volunteer. And I can
So
give
true.
you examples. Example, when you volunteer, when you mentor people, you think you know you have more experience than someone who just starting. But guess what? Your path, your journey, totally different. You've
Wow.
not you've not seen his path. By the time you start thinking you're mentoring him, he's actually mentoring you because you're learning. Those
I
are
like that.
things you don't go to pay for in a class and sit down and the professor is telling you. Like for instance, I joined a board of small scale food producers in
Yes.
BC. They are majorly in BC. There has never been a place that I've learned. I look forward to board meetings. I actually had to join committees because these are people who have been doing generational businesses.
Yes.
So they've experienced different kind of circles of businesses in Canada.
That's right.
So when they're sharing that, it's as if I just bought a book and I'm reading the experiences in the book.
It's the best way to learn.
I think I'm giving my time to volunteer and be on a board and put my, yes, of course, I'm doing that. Every time I learn, every time I get something from it. Same
Wow.
thing, even for entrepreneur, everywhere, you always end up learning. So I always tell people, if you think, oh, you have to be this, be that, to no, there's nothing like that. At the slightest moment when the opportunity comes, you get on it.
So
So
good.
simple.
So
Yeah.
good. Joseph, this is such a powerful story. I love just how God has navigated your path and also you responding in the right moments to take the next step forward. I really like how you highlight referencing the hilltop moments that will
Yeah.
keep you in the valley and just how important community and relationship is to life. Thank you so much for being on the climb. Is there any last words you'd want to share with men who are in the business sphere or maybe just stepping out as entrepreneurs and trying to think of what are some of the next steps to do?
All I will say, whenever we find ourselves at a crossroad, let's be positive. Let's think about pivoting. I never thought about providing freight services, but I will tell you that is what has been holding my tea business on. Let us always pivot. Whenever we hit that crossroad, it will always come, but then we need to respond positively to it.
Thank you so much, Joseph.
You're
Wealth
welcome.
of knowledge and experience, as they say, money can't buy this kind of thing.
Thank you so much, Teko.
It's a
Yeah.
good, it's really good having you on the climb, and I look forward to us catching up in the future.
See you then. Take care, brother.